Siesta Sand Live. Siesta Sand Live is broadcast from Captain Kurt's Village. It's Siesta Key's home to great food, great drinks, great music, and great times. Look for the giant American flag.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 2 of Siesta Sand Live. I am Madison Brown, and today we're going to switch it up for Episode 1. Today, I am going to interview the interviewer, Natalie Gutwein, as you all know. I'm sure you have so many questions of who she is, where she came from, and today all those questions will be answered. So stay tuned for this episode to find out more.
The next segment is brought to you by the Judy Berger Team, part of Sotheby's International Realty. Whether a buyer or a seller, you'll be delighted with their service. And by Altez Vacations. It's the perfect place to go to find that perfect place to rent.
Welcome to Siesta Sand Live. I'm your host, Natalie Gutwein, and today we've got a very special day. We're going to interview the interviewer. So this is Madison Brown, and I'm Natalie Gutwein, and welcome to Siesta Sand Live. And today we're actually coming to you from Captain Kurt's. We're on the stage. We're broadcasting out to everybody in the audience. So everybody out there, kind of bear with us. This is our first episode, Season 2 of Siesta Sand Live. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, all over the place. But today, Madison is going to interview me.
Yeah, we're going to switch it up today. I know Natalie knows so much about Siesta Key and everything that goes into it, the culture, the lifestyle here. And we figured, why not ask the interviewer questions to kind of deep dive more into how she got here, who she is, and what she thinks about Siesta Key.
Well, I get asked this question a lot because I'm up here interviewing everybody else, and somebody said, well, what about you? We want to hear about you. And there's a lot going on here on Siesta Key. And me personally, so a little bit about me. Born and raised in Greencastle, Indiana, a Hoosier to the death. Obviously very, very excited about what my Indiana Hoosiers accomplished this year in football. That was very exciting. Going to college there was a lot of fun, and we were horrible. Of course, you already heard all about it. You had to hear from me how horrible our Indiana football team was.
But I mean, you guys came out of nowhere this year, and look at where you ended up.
I know. It was super, super exciting. I can't wait to see just to have a football team now. But, so I was raised in Indiana, lived there for quite a while, and then one day just ended up moving to Atlanta with my family. And I've been in real estate now for 21 years. Live here on the island, and very happy that I moved here.
Yeah.
People ask me a lot, so how did you end up on Siesta Key?
Yeah.
And, I've had a vacation home down here for, at that time, probably about 15 years, I think. And we just loved it. We always loved Sarasota. We loved Siesta Key. I remember flying in here when I was in college. And I came down here for the boat show, to do some modeling for the boat show. And I flew in, and I remember coming over the islands in downtown Sarasota and just thinking, oh, wow, this is just absolutely beautiful. And I could just kind of have that in the back of my mind, that that's where I wanted to end up. And then fast forward, when I met Ben, he actually lived here.
Okay.
But he was getting transferred back up to Indiana.
Okay.
So we got to hang out here for a little while when we were first dating, and then we moved. He moved up to Indiana. We lived there for a while, and then to Atlanta. But just always knew I wanted to come here.
Yeah.
And I literally could have chosen to live anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. My ex-husband I sold houses. He worked from home, and we picked Siesta Key.
So going back to Indiana and growing up there and choosing to go to IU and college there, what was life like compared to there growing up? And then you're raising a son here. You can see the differences that way.
It's very different, yeah. Growing up in Indiana in the late 80s, it was, I always say Indiana is a great place to be from. I grew up in a college town. Greencastle has DePaul University there.
Okay.
And it's a perfect little college town. It was exactly the way you picture the movies in the 80s and 90s. That's exactly what it was like.
Okay.
Very just kind of wholesome, you know. And then I decided I wanted to go to a big school. I ended up at IU. Loved every second of that. And not too long after that, actually, I had my 2 daughters.
Okay.
So my kids are kind of very, very spaced out. My older ones are, well, there's 13 years between my oldest and my youngest.
Okay.
And my baby goes to Riverview. I say my baby, but he's like 15 and a half, and he's like 6 feet tall. And he plays soccer at Riverview. We're actually very, very happy with the experience. I'm surprised at how many people I've interviewed on this podcast that went to Riverview.
Yeah.
Commissioner Mark Smith did. Kara with Altez Vacation Rentals. There's a lot of people that went to high school here and then ended up coming back.
Yeah. Sarasota, it has that charm where I feel like everyone ends up coming back, or you don't leave.
Yeah.
But I understand why. I mean, I'm 24.
You left.
I left for college.
Came back.
But I know in the end I'll, have my family here. The school system's great. And then
It is, right.
It's a bubble. It's a big town, small city. So
Right.
It's perfect.
Well, and we kind of thought, okay, when we moved here, my son was going into 2nd grade, and I thought, well, do we want to do private school or do we want to do public school? And we ended up going the public school route because I thought, well, if I don't like public, then I can put him in private. You did the private school route. We've been very happy with public, but you were very happy with private.
I mean, in general, my grandparents were they were very associated with where we were going to school and whatnot, so they were coming on the tours with us. But I have to say, I went to Cardinal Mooney and we hung out with everyone from Venice to Lakewood Ranch, Riverview, Sarasota.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone kind of got along. Everyone was on the same wave, I want to say. Whether you're going public or private, the school system here, you can't go wrong, really.
I don't think so. And that's what we were looking at.
Yeah.
When I moved here, I was very concerned about Gabe's education. But I've been so happy with that whole experience. And then to start selling real estate again here.
So how did you get into that originally? You were working in college.
It was kind of crazy how I really got started. So I got, back way up. So my very first stint in real estate was in college. I worked for a property management company.
Okay.
So we...
got a little taste for it.
Yeah, I got a little taste for it. We managed other people's properties. We rented out our properties as well. Very similar to the property management companies here that manage the condos. And there was just something about it that it just got my attention. And then a really good friend of mine, I would have been early 20s at this point, and he got into residential real estate. And there was just something about it that fascinated me, the whole experience. Just
which part, like the negotiations or working with clients, every day
all
being
of
different?
It. Every day is different. I look at it as almost like an adventure. So when somebody comes to me, tell me what you're looking for. And what I've found is I really need to show them one house. Once I walk through one property with somebody, I can get a really good idea of what they're looking for.
Yep.
But it's kind of that whole mentality of, all right, what are you looking for? Now I've got to figure out, I've got to find that house for you. And it's sort of that experience.
Yeah.
But of course the negotiation is part of it. I've learned a lot in 21 years, and how to get what you're looking for. But the other thing I think a lot of agents do is they over-negotiate, and they'll lose a property for their clients. And so that's one of the things. I actually read a lot of books about it, listen to Audible tapes.
An experience. I mean, there's a fine line, I feel like, a gray area where you could step over or not do enough.
Right, yeah.
And you just kind of learn that through experience as well.
Yeah, and it was kind of an interest. I was working public relations at the NCAA.
Okay.
And that would have been like 2003.
Okay.
And that was back when LeBron James was coming out of high school.
Wow.
That's how. Now he's still playing though, right?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while, but that was when I decided, you know what, I'm going to get licensed and I want to do this. And since then, I've been licensed in 3 different states.
Yeah. So you've really learned the market kind of everywhere throughout these years.
Yeah, and they're very different.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
It's different product as well.
Oh, incredibly. Selling in Indiana, oh my gosh, my first house in Indiana was $127,000. And that was a brand new construction house.
Wow. And what year was that?
Oh gosh, like 2001, I think.
Yeah.
It was a while back. And then ended up kind of moving around Indiana a little bit. And then at Georgia, it was a completely different animal.
Yeah, and you were in the city? In Atlanta?
I was north of kind of the what was the end of the country in Forsyth County, Georgia.
Okay.
And my middle daughter went to school there.
Okay.
And totally different world there,
Yeah.
too. So when I moved down here, that's how I ended up working with somebody else when I first got here for like the first about 7 years, because I just knew it was different. I had already done it twice. I already knew that once you get started in a different area, you don't know. And it's so different. You know, nobody cared about the elevation of a house when you're selling a house that's on the side of a mountain in Georgia.
Yeah.
Moving onto a tropical island and selling real estate.
Now that's like the number one question that clients ask when they're seeing a house for the first time.
Yeah, oh yeah, and they want to know what the elevation is. Send me the elevation certificate.
Did it flood?
Yep, that's one of the big questions we get these days.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's kind of how I ended up here.
Okay.
And then now I have a new real estate group.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
I do. We are now the Natalie Gutwein group, and I've added you to my team.
Yes, with Michael Saunders.
Yes.
And so far, so great. It's been amazing. You're a great mentor. We get along so well.
We do.
When we work, and then also a great friend to have just in general.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited about the next chapter, and adding you has been a great experience. It is crazy how well we work together, how much alike we are.
Yes, we are alike, but then there's also like how we balance each other out.
Right. Yes, and working on everything. And I love that you grew up here, and you know everybody in this town.
It's like I knew like a good amount of people, or at least their kids, from going to school, playing sports, whatever it was. But I mean, some of the listing appointments we've been on, where I'm like, wait, what's their last name? And I'm like, oh my god, they used to babysit me.
You know,
or
like half the people we've talked to.
It's actually real. It's such a, like I said, a big town, small city. It's a bubble.
Well, and when I was deciding where I wanted to move, that was very important to me. I wanted to move somewhere that was, because I'd been kind of both. I mean, I grew up in this, literally it took 7 minutes to get into town.
Okay.
There was nobody around but my family.
Yeah.
And on this big 300-acre piece of property. And I mean, my cousins lived there, my grandparents, my great-grandparents. It was sort of like the original compound. It was a great way to grow up. But contrast that to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And you know, Bloomington, Indiana, what I loved about that was it was a smaller town. Well, it was a big small town is what I called it. And I actually studied public and environmental affairs there, which has kind of helped me out with all the other things I do here on Siesta Key, all the boards I'm on. But then Atlanta was way too many people, just people on top of people. So when I was trying to decide where my next was going to be, Sarasota was perfect because it's not too big, it's not too small.
It's in between, good middle ground.
Yeah, and I wanted to go somewhere that I could be involved in local politics, and I don't want to be a politician.
Yeah.
But be involved in what's going on.
Yep. Make a difference in some way. Kind of try to contribute.
Right, and Siesta Key is the perfect place to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. The community here of business owners, locals, tourists, everyone. We all have this mutual respect, I feel like.
We do, and everybody knows everybody. You know, the more I get involved in all the boards out here and the Siesta Key Beautification Alliance and all the things that are going on with that, everybody does know everybody. And it's usually for the good, sometimes for the bad, but you still know everybody out here.
Yeah.
And, you know, after the hurricanes, I really saw that. After the first hurricane, I came over here, and one of the things that really just made me appreciate Siesta Key so much more was how everybody helped everybody else.
The community out here is really incredible.
The community really came together on that. And that's what we're doing now, moving forward, trying to kind of put Siesta Key back together again. And with the alliance.
So tell me more about that. Which board did you first join? How did you join it? How did you get
That's
into
a
that?
great question, yeah, how I got involved in all this. So when I moved here, like I said, my degree, I studied public management in college. And when I moved here to Siesta Key, I get involved in real estate. And I really wanted to get on a board around here and really kind of start working. And I ended up on the board of the Siesta Key Association. That was the very first one. And at first, I wasn't even sure what the Siesta Key Association did, because the meetings were, you know, it was about dredging Big Pass, and there was a lot of stuff going on. And then I realized they're sort of like the watchdog of Siesta Key. We're concerned about the environment. We're concerned about a little bit of anything and everything that goes on out here on Siesta Key. And then after the hurricanes, that's when I really got involved in all the other boards.
I feel like that's when it was most needed too. I feel like a lot of people stepped up at that point to really get involved.
Yeah, they did. Why don't we take a really short break,
Okay.
and then we'll come back and we're going to talk about all those boards
Perfect.
and that whole next step.
Awesome.
The following segment is brought to you by Beach Bazaar, located in the heart of Siesta Village. Everything for the beach, and we do mean everything. And by FAM Development, the area's best in custom-built homes. Start living your dream on and around Siesta Key.
So welcome back. We just wanted to introduce ourselves. So I'm Natalie Gutwein. I have a podcast here called Siesta Sand Live, and this is Madison Brown.
Hello.
And we are live. This is a whole new setup. Season 2 is a little bit different than what we've done in the past. So Siesta Sand Live, just to reiterate, it's a podcast just about Siesta Key. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and we're talking anything and everything Siesta Key. And today we're Ask the Interviewer.
Yes.
So Madison is interviewing me because people ask me a lot of questions about me, where I came from, how did I end up on these boards. So I thought, you know what, let's start off season 2 and just talk about me.
Yeah, and you're so involved out here on the Key. Not only living out here, but the boards you're on, what you do in your day-to-day life. I mean, you've said it yourself, sometimes you don't even leave the Key.
No,
So-
days will go by and I don't
Yeah.
leave the Key. Yeah, especially my son gets his license here in June, and I think I'm going to leave the Key a whole lot less.
Yeah,
after
definitely.
That. Yeah.
So we left off kind of talking about the association and some of the boards that you're on, and I've heard about this beautification alliance that has kind of been created to revamp the Key in some ways because,
Yes.
I mean, growing up here, I've did Easter Sundays on the beach with grandparents' families. My family owns businesses in the village and sporadically through the Key. It's home.
Right.
And you see the changes over the years. It is a huge tourist destination that brings in a lot of money for the county. And
Right.
After the hurricanes, we noticed just a lot that has not been done. And as a community, we pulled together as much as we could
Right.
to revamp it and try to get it back to what it was and even better than what it was, with still keeping the charm and character that
Right.
it does have. So tell me a little bit about this beautification alliance.
So the Siesta Key Beautification Alliance, after the hurricanes, where I'm kind of walking around the island and talking to other business owners on the Key, and I've got my real estate business out here. I'm talking to our sellers and our buyers, and everybody's kind of looking around and saying the same thing. We got hit by 2 hurricanes in 2 weeks, and here it was a couple weeks after, couple months after, and nothing was being done.
Mm-hmm.
We just really didn't feel like the county was doing anything out here.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go to the Siesta Key Chamber meetings, which I'm on that board, and we would talk about what was going on or what wasn't going on. There was also the Siesta Key Village Maintenance Corporation, which is a corporation that is just in the Siesta Key, or in the North Village.
Okay.
And just walking around and mostly talking to the people that were living here and working here, and all of us are noticing nothing is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then conversations started to happen. We all got together.
Mm-hmm.
So the Siesta Key Beautification Alliance is comprised of the Siesta Key Association, the Siesta Key Chamber, the Siesta Key Village Maintenance Corporation, residents, homeowners, business owners, and we all kind of came together finally and said, you know what, we've got to do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
We really need to get money from the county. We've got to reinvest in here. Now, there was a beautification out here. Commissioner Mark Smith started working on this years ago.
And that was the last beautification was in 2007.
Yes.
Okay.
Which he told me once it took him 10 years to get that beautification.
Wow.
He worked really hard. Troy from the Daiquiri Deck, I guess, all that kind of, those two, I guess, went around and just did everything they could, and they finally got the first beautification done. Mm-hmm. And that's what got the power lines buried in the village.
The majority of that money went to burying the power lines.
Yeah, a lot of it did. A lot of it, and just sidewalks.
Yeah.
It is
business owners were taking care, and still are taking care of their
the maintenance,
yeah.
right? And that's what a lot of people don't realize. The maintenance in the village. So the Siesta Key Village Maintenance Corporation, that is a PID here in Sarasota County. Those 100 property owners are taxed, and they pay for their own maintenance. But that only covers the North Village. That doesn't cover the rest of Siesta Key. And we were finding that there were so many other issues. There were a lot of infrastructure issues. One of the first things that happened after we formed this alliance was actually my birthday last year, May 12th. It rained and rained and rained. And I go driving through the village and up kind of toward the Patriots Pier, and there's just water everywhere, standing water everywhere. So immediately I start texting everybody in my group and say, we need to do something about this. So one of the very first things we tackled was reaching out about stormwater here on the island and sending pictures and talking to the commissioners and saying something needs to be done right this second. And that was the very first thing we got accomplished. Was the commissioners came out, the commissioners did come out and walk around, but the county, I asked them to email me anything and everything that had been done for stormwater over the past 5 years. And I got this email back that had hundreds of pages, but it was where they had repaired stormwater, but it would be like one house here and one house there.
Okay.
So we said, well, you've got to do something about Columbus Drive. And
Yep.
so they did. They came out, the county came out. There's a lot going on in stormwater in Sarasota County right now. Thankfully, I think they've got that worked out. But that was one of the very first things that we worked on, because those storm drains were completely clogged, completely. And that's why there was so much flooding. And that causes environmental problems. That could re-flood everybody's houses. And we all kind of had some PTSD with that whole thing.
100%. I mean, the two storms that we had,
it knocked us out, yeah.
we were not prepared
No.
at all. And
So the next time around, we want to make sure that we are more resilient. What we've done with this Beautification Alliance is we actually hired an engineering firm. We raised $35,000 just from the local businesses.
Wow.
Just from the people that are on that Beautification Alliance. That's how strongly we feel about what we need to do here.
Yeah.
When you're willing to put your own money towards something, that says a lot.
Definitely.
One of the big things, I think, so we form this alliance, we start talking, getting in front of the commissioners. It took us a year, and then in December of this past year, they put us on the strategic plan for Sarasota County, and that was huge. Everybody on that board has worked very, very diligently to get this done, and I'm very impressed every day when I work on that board. Now, this will probably air afterwards, but on February 11th, there's a workshop in front of the commissioners just to talk about Siesta Key.
Oh, that's great.
That was huge for our board.
Yeah.
It was, we spend a lot of time.
It's a strong group, too.
It is. It's a very, very strong
influential
group.
people. And to get in front of the commissioners, I feel like, as well, you have your foot in the door. And once you're in there, I know I heard you were starting it off and speaking, and then it would lead to others, but...
on the workshop? Yes, last night we had a meeting. We have a lot of meetings. There's a lot that goes into keeping Siesta Key the way it is and making it beautiful. And so Siesta Key brings in 1/3 of the tourism development dollars that all of Sarasota County has. You have to keep your cash cow in good shape, because if Siesta Key doesn't bring in that revenue, the rest of Sarasota County they don't get the things that we love about Sarasota County. Without Siesta Key, you don't have things like the new Moat Aquarium. That was made with TDT funds.
Yes.
But if you continually leech off of something and never put anything back into it,
Just going to run it dry.
yeah, eventually you're going to kill the golden goose. And that's what we're saying is, so what we're asking the county to do is hire the engineering firm that we've already got the engineering report started. Hire this engineering firm. Let's look at everything that needs to be done out here on the Key. Let's look at the infrastructure issues. Let's look at stormwater. Look at the streets. What can we do to beautify Siesta Key, to keep it? And one of the big things is safety. Right now, when they did the first beautification in the village, they put in pavers. Well, what we've found over time, and I spend a lot of time doing walkthroughs with county staff just to see that's the Village Maintenance Corporation. It didn't work out really well. The pavers have caused a lot of tripping hazards. So one of the things that we've talked about is putting concrete in, making kind of more of normal sidewalks, but putting some color through there.
Definitely. And give it some life.
Right.
Still
And bring it,
make efficient and make it make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, and we want to bring that down here to the South Village. We need some curbing over here. There's just, when you look at other destinations, like you go up to Destin or even Daytona or all along the East Coast, there's a lot of other cities that are destination cities, and they do a lot better job of maintaining all of that. We're not a city. You know, we're part of the county, so we can't just go to our city and say, hey, you need to do this. Like Venice is gorgeous. Venice, the city of Venice, they have their business district, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
And they already have in place what we're going to work to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if anything, if any place deserves it, it really is Siesta Key.
I agree. We're
the
a
best
tourist,
beaches.
right? We get voted, Dr. Beach named us #1 beach.
Yep.
Last year, we were actually named #4 beach in the entire world by TripAdvisor.
And this has been for years. I mean, continuously. So once again, I'm shocked just by the amount of money that Siesta Key does bring in.
Right.
I feel like it's just taken advantage of in some ways, and like you said, kind of leached off of.
Right.
Because we're not seeing the return.
No, and what I'm very excited about is I know we're going to. The commissioners now, the commissioners we have right now are all on board.
Yeah.
They see exactly what it needs. 4 of the 5 commissioners came out here and walked the island with us and looked around, and they were shocked at what they saw in the village. And that had to be 4 or 5 months after the hurricanes.
Okay.
And there was still there was a stop sign in the storm drain.
And that's, come on.
I know. And, there just were so many crazy things just months and months and months after the hurricane. And, our point was, look, we took a direct hit.
Yeah.
You've got to put it back. But it's also just, it was sort of years of neglect and never kind of approaching Siesta Key as a whole.
And then the storms on top of it.
Right.
But when the community and individuals are working so hard to come together with their own money to put it back together, because it is their home and their sanctuary and their moneymaker.
Right, yeah.
You need help on the outside to really get things done.
And we do. It's going to take an influx of cash. It's going to be over several years. But we think, the right thing to do is to hire the engineering firm, see what that says,
and
take
do it
from
right.
the experts, and do it right. And then have a plan going forward of how we can continually reinvest in Siesta Key so we don't have to keep going back to the well.
Yeah, maintain it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the plan.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Stay tuned. February 11th. That's when we have our workshop down in Venice. Very excited about that.
That is very exciting. That's a big day.
It is a big day, and I think it will come back to everybody. Even
Yeah.
if you're a resident in Sarasota County and you never come out to Siesta Key, you still benefit from the money that we generate. That's one of the messages I'm trying. Oh, gotta love it when it's live. That's one of the messages I'm trying to get out. Is we all benefit from this. We just have to make sure that we're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited. Showing houses out here on Siesta Key, that was one of the big things that kept coming up after the hurricanes was, hey, have they cleaned up out here? We're working on it.
It is nice though when clients do ask that, you being so involved with the boards, that you have those answers instead of, especially when it's like someone relocating.
Right.
And they really need to know these answers because they're not out
They
here.
do.
They don't live here. They're coming from somewhere else, and they don't see the everyday life. Or
Right,
the
and that's
upgrades
a
that
challenge. Somebody's
Yeah.
coming on this island and they're looking at $5, $6, $7, $8 million house or a $800,000 house. They're coming out here and they're looking at it and they're wondering what's lacking. For the longest time, we didn't even have flowers in the right-of-ways up here.
Yeah.
There was a lot that was lacking, and I was getting that question a lot. And you're right. Now I can say we're on it.
Yep.
We've got a plan. We're working toward a plan.
It's a work in progress.
Right.
But the ball is moving, the ball's rolling, and it's on its way. But it is nice when we can go in and you can have those answers, because a lot of people don't know.
No, a lot of
when
people
you're spending,
don't.
Siesta Key is the destination where people are retiring or they want to come raise their family and they're spending their life savings to get down here.
Right.
And you need to make it worth it because this place is beautiful and it has the
It
structure
has
and
so
the
much,
bones.
right. It
and
has so much natural beauty, and we just have to
Exactly.
highlight on that.
Yeah.
And that's we absolutely want to keep the charm and the character of Siesta Key.
Yes.
That is number one on our list. We don't want to change that whatsoever,
Yeah.
and that's part of what, I heard one of the commissioners said, Siesta Key, for the first time ever, everybody on Siesta Key has come together.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where we're at.
Sometimes
we're
you have to hit a
united
low
voice
to
right.
come
Yes,
together.
to bring everybody together and work toward a common goal. I cannot wait to see what this island's going to look like in a few years. We're actually going to have boards made so we can put in the different businesses. So when people come down here in the next year or two, they can say, hey, pardon our progress is going to be the message. So people can see, yes, we are working toward this. Well, Madison, thank you very much for interviewing me, for being on our very first live here at Captain Kirk. Look, we're on the TV.
This was so much fun. I know everything about you pretty much, but I'm so happy that everyone else is learning about you and how wonderful you are, the knowledge that you bring, and how hardworking you are towards real estate, everything, and of course, Siesta Key.
Well, thank you for tuning in. Again, if anybody's looking to watch this podcast, we're YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you've got somebody that you think would be great to be on the podcast, reach out to me, Natalie Gutwein. And again, this is Madison Brown, and thanks for staying tuned.
Thank you.
The final segment is brought to you by the law offices of Eric Fleming, specializing in real estate closings. Mr. Fleming is also the current president of the Siesta Key Chamber of Commerce. And by Gilligan's Island Bar and Grill. Experience the heartbeat of the Siesta Village's dining and social scene.
Thank you for tuning in to my favorite episode ever, a Siesta Sand Live. I am so excited to be into season 2. We've got so much to talk about here. I cannot wait to get more exciting guests on from Siesta Key. I hope you enjoyed hearing about me. We've got a lot with the Siesta Key Beautification Alliance, and I really, really look forward to where we're going with that. So come back next week. We'll be here. Thanks again.
Siesta Sand Live is broadcast from Captain Kirk's Village. It's Siesta Key's home to great food, great drinks, great music, and great times. Look for the giant American flag.